Hello, I'm going to be going over Unit 5 Project 10-1 Convert Lengths. So I've got the gradient criteria open here, and first things first, it says function for valid data. Does it validate as numerical, validates if not null or present, validates if in range. So I'm going to go to that and show you that in the project. So first of all, when you click the calculate button, I have the if is valid data. So what valid data is, all the way down here, there you are. So the function is valid data. It's going to check that the from conversion, because that's the only value you're actually entering, so it's the only one it has to validate. It's going to check if it's present, it's going to check if it's a decimal, and it's going to check if it's within the range from 0 to 1,000, which is what it was saying in the prompt. And then down here we have the private function is present, is decimal, and is within range. Let's go back to the top. I'll show that working once I run the program. And calculate the click event. So it calls the validation, which I showed you that. Calculation, correct, answer / display formatted and rounded to 2 decimals. Focus on user input. So with the calculation, I'll show you how I did that. Okay, so going to the calculate button. So when you click the calculate button, it's going to, as I said before, it's going to check to see if it's valid data. And then the from conversion, the first text box and whatnot, I've got as a decimal right here, the variable converting it to a decimal. And then also I have the to conversion, which is the one that's going to be displayed as a decimal. And basically, I instead of like calculating it here and whatnot, I have a function here that is going to be that does the calculation. And then once that calculation is done, it's going to display it and it's going to round it to the second decimal. And then it's going to also go back. It's going to select the from conversion box, which is the one you're entering, because that's the one it wants to focus on. And so going off of the calculate the to conversion function that calculates it, it's right here. So the private function to conversion, and then that's what I'm passing, and it's all as a decimal. And so I have a bunch of if statements. So it's if, so for like the first one example, it goes if the combo box conversion, the selected index is 0, so it'll be the first one and whatnot, then to conversion will equal the whatever you entered that from conversion times, and then the 1.6093, which I got all these values off of this right here. Let's go back to that. And so, and also all up here at the top, when I load the conversions to the conversion combo box, I've got all the different ones in order according to that table that I just showed you. So this is going to be index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so that's from here on. So you know when I'm talking about those indexes, those are what the indexes are. And I also have it starting at index 0 just to get the program started. But so back down here, so I've got index 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the applicable conversion. And then it's going to return whatever value it gets from this function up here to, where'd I go? To the calculate button. So to conversion, this variable will equal what we get from that, and so that's what ends up getting displayed here. Format, focus, yep. And so the exception handling, proper error messages. I mean, I can show you the error messages that pop up when we're running it. In the combo box populated. Proper labels appear with the combo box. Change, display, and user input are cleared. So, and then the exit button. So I'll show the code for those real quick. So obviously, like I said, for the combo box, it also said you needed to load all these different things to it. So that's what ends up getting loaded. And then going down, that's the to conversion. And then so whenever the combo box changes to the different things up here, the different conversions, whenever the combo box changes, it's going to change the from and to label. And so I have, similar to when we were calculating the to conversion, whenever the combo box changes, it's going to change the from and to label, as I said before, to these specific strings, depending on which one is chosen. So I just have a bunch of if statements doing the same thing. And then here's just, if you click the exit button, it's going to close out the application. We went over the is valid data stuff. And then also the clearing of the data. So basically here I have a sub that's cleared the to value. That's just why I named it. And so basically, whenever the combo box conversion, the index is changed. So whenever you change whatever you're choosing in that combo box, it's going to erase or basically set the text in text box from and to just an empty string. So it just clears it. And then now I'm going to show you that working. So here it is. So first things first, conversion, I'm just going to keep it as the standard miles kilometers. I'll enter 12 and hit enter, and it'll give us our kilometers rounded to 2. And then if I switch this to meters to feet, changes everything. As you can see, it changed meters to feet, centimeters to inches, kilometers to miles. So it's changing as I change this. And if I were to enter, let's say, a string, so it's not decimal, it's going to say tree, let's say the from conversion must be a decimal value. Or if I go out of the range and I go 1,222, enter it, so the from conversion must be between that range. And or if I just leave it blank and I try to calculate it, it's going to say that the from conversion is a required field, so you must enter something there. And I believe that should be everything. So I showed you how the exception to the proper error messages. I showed you that it works. So I guess the last thing I have to do is just exit, and it exits out of the application. So other than that, that's all of my project. If you have any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, thank you very much. Bye.